so many of us are kind of like on the cusp of a new version of ourselves. And probably for the last year, you've been floating like back and forth between the type of person that you want to be, that you see that you can be, but also at the same time feeling a little bit uncertain, a little bit scared, and wanting to hold on to the person that you currently are. So, if you are hearing this message right now, it is an invitation for you to start letting go of the old parts of yourself. It could be old ways of thinking, your belief systems, ways of doing things. And very importantly, this year, groups of friends that you are engaging with, your coworkers, because the people around you really influence, you know, how you see yourself and how you view the world. And so, with these themes of a North Node in Aries and a South Node in Libra, we are starting to recognize who we actually are by listening to our truth and really strengthening and honing in our intuition, that innate knowing and innate wisdom. And so, there is starting to be a clear delineation of you outside of those external forces and influences. And you're beginning to realize who is no longer a good fit for your inner circle, and or how to transmute a certain relationship dynamic, a certain relationship, to one that actually works for the person you are now and the person that you are becoming. So I want you to start thinking about what parts of you that have started to feel a little bit different, that feel outdated. I think an important example, or an example you might relate to, is there's certain types of social gatherings and social groups, maybe associations or just friend groups, that you're just like, I don't really feel like I relate in the same ways as before. And you're starting to be more intentional about how you engage, and what parts of yourself that you are sharing with others. So thoughts and questions that might be kind of floating in and out of your mind are, why do I want to go to this? Why do I want to hang out with these people? Is it because it's something that I've always done? Do I just want to maintain appearances or kind of maintain relationships? At the end of the day, are these people really people that I want to bring with me on this next chapter? And I believe that there are so many people this year looking to start businesses or side hustles. And so sometimes when you want to start something new, whether it's like you're embarking on a spiritual journey, starting a business, which actually I'll make another video, they're kind of like one and the same. Um, the people around you may not understand, and they're holding on to this outdated version of yourself, all the while you're trying to figure out, okay, what parts of like my old self do I want to bring along, do I want to amplify, and what new parts of me do I want to explore and really develop? So really start to think in these next few days and weeks, especially as we will enter eclipse season, Aries season very soon. So all of this is going to be heightened. And so I invite you to come back and listen to these messages again, because starting in about like a week and a half, we're starting to feel those energies of the eclipse season. So eclipse season brings us what we need, maybe not what we want. There can be some challenges, especially if we're resisting change and not preparing, not feeling open to receiving insights to help us become this new version of ourselves. Because with the North Node in Aries, we're all focused on ourselves, our own identity. There's the focus on the I, because a South Node in Libra, Libra represents us and the collective and others. So there is a lot more realization of like, oh, I don't think I'm advocating for myself enough, whether it be at work or in your personal life. There could also be a desire to share your boundaries with others and being like, you know what? This person is always saying that, like, these are their boundaries and I should honor their boundaries. but have I ever shared my boundaries with this person? And I think sometimes people may view the word boundaries as a bad thing, but really it is just to allow yourself and others to understand, like, what's like the playground, the playing ground of like what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And when we understand our own boundaries, communicate them, and others respect them, then relationships really are so much better. So you will also find that certain relationships, like I said before, may start to disappear. And to make this eclipse season a lot easier on you, you can set the intention of being able to flow better with change and transformation, to allow yourself to clearly see the changes that you need to make so that this next version of you can continue to come through, because these themes are going to be with us for the rest of the year, and they are heightened during eclipse season, which is March, April, and October, November. And these lessons will start to wrap up January of 2025. So if you are an Aries Libra, for your sun, moon, rising, or north or south nodes, this is going to affect you so much more. I know with my friends who are Aries, sun or rising, normally you feel a lot of energy and the ability to start new things without a problem. People look to you for the vision, for your leadership, but this like past year has probably felt a little bit wobbly because you are starting to recalibrate who you are, where you want to take the lead. And with these internal changes, slowly but surely, they will start to be reflected in the external world, in the work that you do, what you spend your time on. And so I know that this can be very uncomfortable for my friends who have these Aries placements because they normally have the answers. And right now, they have more questions than answers. But know that this is part of the process, and just allow yourself to receive and kind of float along and enjoy the season that you're in, because when we want to fight and claw our way out, we're just like, I want this to be over. And we're constantly thinking, okay, I want this to be over. What's next? What's next? We tend to get stuck in that place for a lot longer. And you actually are able to move through it a lot faster when you allow yourself to move through it with more ease by receiving and being curious and being open-minded, kind of going with the flow. For my friends who have a Libra sun or a Libra rising, you are normally very, very social. I think at times, probably this year, you're being pulled to opposite spectrums. On one side, you're like, I feel like I have to do everything. I have new friends, I have old friends. I feel like I have to kind of keep all the plates, juggling all the balls. And then at the same time, you're feeling like wanting to rest, and being confused as to why you feel a bit more not isolationist, but wanting to spend time alone when normally you really recharge by engaging with others. And again, know that this is normal as well, because you're starting to be more intentional and more aware of, oh, maybe I'm just keeping a social calendar to be busy, but there are some things that I need to sit with myself so that I understand which relationships are really serving my highest good, and finding that balance of giving and receiving, because with Libras, it is really, really easy to give more and more and more and think that you need to bring together the opinions of everyone else, need to kind of consider everyone else's needs but yours. Now I'm going to talk about if you have a North Node in Aries. With the North Node in Aries, you are definitely feeling called to do something new. You probably have a project, a business idea, a side hustle idea that you've been kind of mulling on, that you've been exploring. It feels a bit uncomfortable because what you are familiar with is being with the collective and kind of gathering others' opinions and gathering lots of data, to kind of make a consensus, make a collective decision. But this year, you continue to receive opportunities, to kind of strike it out on your own and to understand and to share with others. This is my vision. This is what I want to create. And like, hey, you can come along, or, Come along when you feel ready. So that's really the energy kind of moving away from kind of being codependent, needing others. It doesn't mean you're not going to collaborate, but more focus on your vision and you taking the lead. With those, this North Node and Libra, because it's going to be an opposite placement for you, it's a mix of both in terms of releasing some unhealthy dynamics related to like not needing help, because your South Node is an Aries, so it's very easy for you to do things on your own, to not need any help. And what you'll be learning this year is to understand your vision, but know that there are some parts of your like Aries characteristics that aren't very healthy, and to let those go so that you can learn that being in partnership is actually very, very powerful for you, and you can get to where you want to be a lot faster. And there is a lot of power in asking people for help and asking about other people's opinions and kind of gathering this information. So this is the theme for this year. I know that a lot of you are exploring like identity, like issues, kind of like who am I? What do I want to do like in my lifetime? What is my focus for right now? What do I want to do for work? And how do the people around me support this new version of myself? So I really want you to think about what are some of like the dueling parts of you that feel like they have to be one way or another way. What parts of you are merging? What parts of you are falling away? And where are you resisting? I hope that helps. I'll also put this on my podcast as well. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Drop into my DMs. And for those who want extra insights on what this year means for you, be sure to check out your free career astrology report on yoursaturn.com and get the expanded one if you have those prominent Aries and Libra placements. So that means you have Aries or Libra in your sun, moon, rising, or north or south node, because this eclipse season coming up through mid-March to mid-April is really going to affect you. It's going to bring in a lot of blessings and clear the way for this new version of yourself that's coming through.